The nurse was only injecting medicine into the rich man, but she accidentally mistook morphine for a painkiller, instantly leaving the rich man with only 10 minutes to live, because she had injected 100 milligrams of morphine at once.
I messed up.
You gave me 100 milligrams of the good stuff.
That dosage was not just deadly to humans, even an elephant could not survive it. Terrified, she hurriedly searched through her medical kit, but she could not find the antidote anywhere. Seeing the nurse panic in fear, the rich man actually comforted the young nurse who had cared for him for years. But how could she stay calm at a moment like this? Because if the rich man received no treatment within 10 minutes, heart failure would take his life.
He's not here, Heart.
Even worse, 3 minutes had already passed. The helpless nurse could only call an ambulance, but the rich man hung up the call immediately, because their mansion stood in the middle of nowhere. An ambulance would need at least 20 minutes to arrive. There was simply no time left.
Are you nuts?
After realizing death was unavoidable, he quickly told Marta to calm down, and asked her to remember every word from now on, because only that could clear her of murder suspicion. Besides, Marta's whole family were illegal immigrants. The rich man did not want this incident ruining their lives. After all, he had already lived long enough. Unexpectedly, someone suddenly knocked on the door. The rich man told Marta to turn around quickly, pretending that nothing had happened. His daughter-in-law had heard noise from the room, so she came upstairs to check the situation.
I thought I heard something. Is everything okay?
No, we're fine.
After seeing the rich man unharmed, she finally turned around and left. Now the rich man only had 4 minutes left, so he urged Marta to leave immediately, but to stay safe, he told her to drive away from the mansion first, then return as fast as possible, because only the side path could avoid the security cameras, then enter through the backyard gate. Although 2 dogs stayed in the backyard, they both knew her, so they would not bark. Then she needed to climb to the 3rd floor by hand, and enter his room through the window. Finally she had to change into his robe, and deliberately walk downstairs for his son to see.
Dad, go back to bed.
Then quickly return to his room again, and finally leave the mansion the same way. That way her alibi would become perfect. The next morning when the maid went to wake the rich man, she discovered a horrifying scene in the room. The rich man lay on the sofa holding a knife, looking as if someone had stabbed him to death. After the police arrived at the scene, everyone believed the rich man was not murdered, but one private detective felt the case was not that simple. A mysterious person had hired him with a huge payment, specifically to investigate the truth behind the death. The detective then questioned everyone in the mansion. It turned out that night was the rich man's 85th birthday, so all his sons and daughters-in-law were at home, meaning every one of them was a suspect. The detective had no choice but to question them separately, but each person pushed the suspicion onto someone else. Clearly none of the rich man's sons were trustworthy. They had spent years wasting his money, yet after his death they all looked delighted, because they could now legally inherit his massive fortune. But when the detective asked about the nurse who last saw the rich man alive, the whole family suddenly gave the same answer. They said Marta was the father's private nurse, and had stayed beside him for many years, so everyone treated Marta like family. And several hours before the rich man died, Marta had already finished work and driven home. However, facing the family's reactions, the detective felt they were hiding the truth, so he decided to focus the investigation on the nurse Marta, because after learning more about her, the detective discovered Marta had a physical condition. Whenever she lied, she would uncontrollably vomit.